Hello everybody, exciting times, exciting times. Look what has just arrived. Oh, stop it, you silly dogs. Look, 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 look. Oh, the precious. What? Oh, I've wanted one of these for quite a long time, and I got my act together, put in my order, and here it is. Right, let's get it to the shed. How am I going to unbox this? It's a bit big. Okay, we'll do an unboxing video and I'll work that out in a minute. Okay, here we go. When they said this thing has weighted keys, they weren't kidding. How nice is this? Wow. Oh, that's fantastic. Hi, keyboard. Oh, that is wonderful, and it's cool. Well, the first thing which strikes me is it's a great deal thinner than my last keyboard, which is going to give me a lot more legroom by the time I get this up. And oh, that feels fantastic. That's really good. I can't wait. So what I'm going to do now is set it up, hook it up, spend 20 minutes getting my head around how it works, and then we'll get stuck in, okay? See you in a minute. Okay, first thing, this isn't bus powered like my last keyboard was. It requires a power supply, which is in the box. So I plugged it in and wondered why it didn't go on, because I'm an idiot. So I'm now going to power it up, and then we'll get the moment of truth, okay? Oh, look, 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 look. It's all glowing and doing glowy stuff, and oh, this does feel very much like Starship Enterprise or something. It's, oh look, and the little lights go on when you play. I'm easily pleased by eye candy like that. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is download Komplete Kontrol, which is a piece of software you download from Native Access, and install that. And how about reading the manual? Oh, don't be ridiculous, guy. Yes, reading the manual. One other thing I'm going to have to do is buy a new stand, because the legs on this one turn out not to be adjustable. So I press into, there you go, A History of Western Music, the Jazz Good CD Guide, a biography of Cole Porter, and a book on marketing, all coming into their own to help raise the level of my keyboard. Right, now I'm going to work out how it works. As you may have noticed, it has been a little bit more than the 20 minutes which I promised you, because it's like this whole system is a lot more powerful and a lot more complicated than I originally gave it credit for. So it's like thinking, I'm going to go and have a walk into the village, and you find yourself in the middle of New York. No, not quite like that. Anyway, it's really good, but I've now come to a number of conclusions. Right, firstly, the most important thing, it's got lots of lovely flashing lights, and much as we might say, well, the touch of the keyboard and the integration, people like flashing lights, and you will see plenty of them as we go through this little demonstration. But the flashing lights make me very happy. Okay, so just putting that out there. Okay, now the next most important thing, I mean, although there's a lot of focus on the integration, the software and everything else, it's a keyboard. The purpose of the keyboard is to play the instrument, and that is really the most important thing. So look, I've got VSL's Bosendorf up, and you can't feel this, but this feels really good. It feels solid. It feels quite, compared to some keyboards, it feels heavy. But the really good thing is, let me just record some in and you'll see. Right, let's have a look at that and you'll see what I mean. Because on my old keyboard, most of that would have gone whack to the red. But look at the dynamic range here. It's really nicely balanced. Look, most of it is sitting exactly where it should be in the mezzo forte range, and only some of it is getting up there towards the fortissimo. I think that is why I've changed keyboard. That is why I bought this one, because actually as a keyboard controller, it is outstandingly good. And I'm already at a point with, I have no idea how I managed to put up with that keyboard before. Right. Had a bit of action going on out here. I was just sitting here and suddenly all hell's breaking loose out there. There's a weasel, tiny little mustard, and it's rushing about. It has found a shrew's nest and the shrews are going, panic, 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 and they're running all over the shop. And the weasel is going round like Captain America or something. He's just polishing them off one after another. Bing, bing, bing. There's all these dead shrews everywhere. Then the weasel picks up each little body and hops off back, presumably to its nest. And it comes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until it's got the whole lot. And it then says, "Thank you very much. I am now off." And it disappears. Spectacular. I mean, anyway. One of the upsides of working from home. Right, where was I before I got carried away with weasel talk? Right. Now let's get on to the software integration, okay? So, a couple of things. There's the first thing you have to do when you set the thing up is to run where is it? The standalone version is how I did it. I just got the native instrument standalone, where is it? Complete Kontrol. You start it up, and it then scans through all your plugins. Now, this is the same deal as with your DAW or anything else. And when it scans plugins, if you've got 3 plugins, it'll go. If you've got 300 plugins, it'll take a little while, and you'll have to interact with it and say, yes, here's the folder, and no, I don't want that, and all the rest of it. But once it's done it, it's only done it once, then you're up and running and into the powerful world of Komplete Kontrol. It does sound a little bit kind of like a sort of superhero's arch villain. I am Komplete Kontrol, and No, enough, Guy, calm. You promised you'd just settle down. Right. Okay, so let's get into Komplete Kontrol. Pretty straightforward. Now, Komplete Kontrol comes up as an instrument. It is an instrument inside your DAW. Because I think, although you can, here we go, yeah, it's now going to get, sorry, I've started up the standalone and it's telling me things I know about some of my plugins which are not working properly. So you do know this, don't you? Yes, I do know this. Just keep reminding me, do I mind? Okay, so it comes up as an instrument. Komplete Kontrol comes up as an instrument. And as soon as you add it, it goes, whoa, and suddenly gets excited. Ta-da! Right, now you get all the bells and whistles. Look, you can go through categories. You've probably seen this before. You can go through individual libraries. And as you go through libraries, as you go through, it auditions them as you go. Oh, okay, very nice. Okay, enough now. Thank you. Thank you. Ah! Stop it. Okay, stop. That's better. Okay, so this all works great. If they're NKS compatible, then, or whatever the letter acronym is, then they will come up in this epic list. Okay, great. You can load them, you can audition them, everything fine. Okay, so what happens if you want to use your S88 keyboard, like a normal controller keyboard, without using the Komplete Kontrol plugin? So you're just using it with Contact or any other instrument, because to get all the browsy things, it's a combination, it's a pairing of the plugin which is Komplete Kontrol, as an instrument inside your DAW and the keyboard. But so now we're looking at ordinary instruments of contact. You'll notice that all the browse things have disappeared. Okay. However, you've got lots of other stuff going on, and that's what I want to really focus on, because I think this is possibly how a lot of people will use this. Firstly, you have control of your DAW. Look, turn the metronome on and off, stop, you can put it into record, you can use this to change tracks, you can move the loop around if you so wish. Look, I won't go through exactly how you do every one, because there's a perfectly good little PDF which says this is how it applies to Logic, how it applies to Cubase, how it applies to Ableton. So you just follow the instructions and it'll do it. Okay, you got mute and sustain and solo. It's very cool. So if you're not one of those people who likes faffing with the keyboard, this will save you quite a lot of all that. It's pretty good for the old art. You may notice, I try and avoid using the mouse whenever possible, because if you do this for 10 hours a day, you'd be surprised how quickly RSI sets in. So you really don't want that. Okay. This is particularly good. Let me just get a couple of things up, because you get basically a mixer, so that you can mix stuff. Hang on, let me just put a couple of things in, then you can see what's. So if we get contact up, let's put, I don't mind, any old thing in. Have a bit of a flute in there. Then we'll have an oboe possibly, and then we'll have add a couple of MIDI tracks in. We'll call that one oboe. It's very, very fast. And then we're going to have, what else are we going to have? Why did I put a second one? Why did I close that rather than just putting two in? And then we'll have a string thing in there, because I'll show you how this works. It's really, really cool. Okay, I'll go just grab some Albion 1, go into orchestra, strings. There you go, that'll do. Load up, load up. Come on. Things are loading slowly because of security settings on my PC. I've just discovered it. It's, if you get this where it goes, oh, I'm taking forever to load, you have to look at things like the real-time virus protection and things, which examines each file as it loads. And if you've got thousands of files, it has no idea that it's going to leave you sitting there for 20 minutes. Anyway. Okay, right. Now, let's just quickly play something in, and then I'll show you how all this works. Okay, so stop. Go back to the beginning. Let's set where we're going to put the loop. Loop can go there. Okay. And you may also notice, look, twiddle the knob and you can. So here, we're going to start here. Pretty weird little chord progression. Doesn't really matter. That's not the point. Okay, and this one. Okay, now the point is, okay, we got flute. So there's flute, oboe, and strings. Okay. Now, if we go to the mixer, look, flute, oboe, strings. So when we play it, okay, that is quite good. That is really quite useful. If you're one of those who likes faffing with knobs when you're mixing, this is not the worst thing that's happened all day. Okay, now, the thing which I use and find really useful is I have programmed each of these faders to be my favorite controllers. So, for example, on this string patch here, if we go into These mic positions, you see it says close, tree, ambient, and outrigger. These are all preset to certain controller. They're straight out the box. All Spitfire stuff comes with, which is it, 22, 23, and 24 are close, tree, and ambient. So if you have controllers set up like this, look, you can do your own little mix. You can push that for solo, and then we'll listen to this string thing. Hang on, that's tons of reverb going on in there. What's going on? Oh no. Okay, no it's not. Okay, so start with the... Turn the volume up a bit. Oh, it's got... Okay, so you see how... So you can program these to be anything you want. And up here, because some libraries have control keys which are right off the bottom, and I've been past menus, I've just programmed C-2 upwards, look, onto these buttons. Hey! So now I've got everything I need right in front of me. I really like this. I think this is great. I should remind you to subscribe to the channel. You haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Well, just push the button, do the bell thing. Yeah? Okay, good. Right. Shall I just quickly show you how you program that? Because actually, I can imagine... Did he say... yes, okay, I did. Right. So let's get the... There may be a better way of doing this, but this is the way I've come to do it, which is you load up Komplete Kontrol. There it is. And when it loads up, two things are going to happen. It's going to do that and tell me that I need to remove these 32-bit plugins because I've got 64 bits. That's my problem. Right, give it a second. Oh, and did you notice that? There's that little 88 key thing comes up there. It says, I know who I'm connected to. And it says, right, now, over here, do you see this little MIDI symbol? Click on that. Then you can assign knobs, buttons, keys, pedals, touch strip, this thing here, anything you like, okay? So that's just the name. So I can put in Guy is great, because why would I want to do that? And somewhere up here it's going to say, there, look, you could probably only just see it. It says Guy is great on my keyboard. Okay, but then down here, control change, channel, controller, number 1, mode, absolute not relative, range. So as you go through each of these, so this is CC7, look, so the controller is 7, CC11, controller 11. So you set this is just the name, these are where the business end happens. Likewise, buttons, so I've set these for, you've got a choice of program change, control change, note change. Tell you what would be really useful is if you could also send key switch, command keys, ASCII commands. That would be really cool because then you could remote an awful lot of stuff which goes on your door. Just a suggestion. So you have note, channel, the note. So this is C-2. You want to change it to gate mode, not toggle mode. And the value is 127. If you do that, each of these will transmit a key switch, which will change the program in your thing, in your instrument. Pedals, this is worth talking about. If you want to set up a sustain pedal, do this. Set whatever it is, pedal A to switch, and the tip setting is control change, channel 1, number 64, mode, gate, off 0, on 127. Okay, control change 1. That's the controller 64. Controller 64 is a sustain pedal. You want gate mode, not toggle or trigger or anything else. And then you want the value off is 0 and on is 127. And then for ring, you just want to leave it off. And if you do that, your sustain pedal will work. You can set up all kinds of more exotic things like expression pedals and things through this as well. And you can then create templates, which so you can store all these things. Now, okay, look. Do you like this? Do you like this? Look. this is also where you can start messing with the colour of your thing. Oh, it's so good. I could play with this all day. So if you just want lots of pretty colours across your keyboard, ooh, and who frankly doesn't, that's how you do it. That's where you set it up. And you can, there is some purpose to this. If you wanted to set them up so that they're all kind of, for whatever reason, different zones and all that kind of malarkey. But I just do it because I like pretty colours. Right. Okay. So that's pretty much it. So once you get your head around it, there's a lot you can do with this. So the basics of the thing are, the keyboard is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. What its prime function is to play, and I'm completely wedded to it. I think this is lovely. If you want all the bells and whistles, you have to use Komplete Kontrol instrument in your DAW or as a standalone. If you're just using it as a normal controller keyboard with any number of instruments, then you can program all these MIDI buttons and faders and everything else and save them as templates. And you can control all your DAW from this bit in front of you. So, really good. It was well worth the wait for this Mark II version of the S88 keyboard. Smaller ones, obviously, and cheaper ones. But this is, particularly if you do this a lot or you do this for a living, you're going to spend a lot of time sitting in front of your keyboard, and you may as well make sure it's one you really like. And this one is one I really like. So you will now have to get used to all these blog videos, YouTube videos, with lots of flashing lights. What's not to like? Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that and find it useful. Leave your comments underneath. What? You haven't subscribed yet? Well, obviously, you've got to push the subscribe-y belly buttony thing, and then you'll know when we do interesting stuff like this. Hope it's interesting anyway. Jolly good. Well, look, thank you very much for your company. I'll see you very soon.